This is Charles River Apparel, and I'm here this morning with Deb and Tracy.
Good morning.
From Charles River Apparel, who were nice enough to say yes to me to come in and tell the story about all of the great things that Charles River Apparel does for its community. So, Deb, talk a little bit about the program and some of the details and kind of like, how did this whole thing get started?
First of all, it's really a pleasure to be here. We're really excited. Yeah. How the program got started? Well, I guess I'd say our interest in philanthropy and charitable giving began really when the company began, which was over 35 years ago. We are a family business and have always really been concerned about giving back and bringing truly people together as a community to get involved in charitable giving. So Charles River Cares is the umbrella for our programming, which began about 10 years ago. And we have different branches, and part of it has been giving directly to people living in poverty and the homeless community and people impacted by natural disasters through in-kind donations. So fortunately, we have the privilege of giving our product away to people who need it during times of crisis. So that's just kind of the broader community.
Sure.
And then in terms of actually our product and how we want to engage our customers and our end users has been through choosing styles that a percentage of the sales go directly to a cause.
Right.
So it began with, sadly, Barry's sister. So Barry and I own Charles River Apparel. My sister-in-law passed away from breast cancer. And that was over 10 years ago when pink styles really kind of came into the forefront of cause marketing. And so we had a program called Be Pink Proud, where a percentage of our pink products, and at that time we had very few pink products, right. The proceeds went to organizations that dealt with cancer research, or we partnered with an organization called the Wellness Warriors, who are dragon boat paddlers who are impacted by cancer. Fast forward, we wanted to kind of broaden our reach and our scope and kind of bring it to a national level. So we started a program 2 years ago called Clothing for a Cause.
Clothing for a Cause.
And now I'm going to turn it over to
Tracy. Thank you. Yeah, so I've been with the company for 4 years, and I think one of the biggest draws when I came in was the idea of being able to give back and impact youth and, families dealing with poverty, families dealing with cancer. So as we were talking and trying to develop the program even more, we wanted to broaden our reach. And that really came from Deb. I mean, she's pretty humble and she wouldn't say it, but it really came from Deb saying, I love what we're doing and everything we're doing is for our community, but how do we reach more communities and how do we extend it even more? Because we have distributors all over the country and there are people all over the country dealing with lots of different issues. So we started talking about it 2 years ago. We came up with Clothing for a Cause. And what we do is we align 3 charitable organizations with 3 of our top selling styles. Throughout the course of the year, 10% of all the sales go towards those organizations. And so it gives us the opportunity to partner with 3 really great organizations. And then what's really great about it is even though we do partner with 3 organizations, it doesn't stop there. So we were able to continue with the breast cancer awareness program, and we did something kind of an extension of Clothing for a Cause, if you will. So we were able to do something around breast cancer awareness. So this year we're excited because we're partnering with 3 really great organizations that do have some national exposure. So we're partnering with an organization called Camp Kesem and Big Brother, Big Sister, which everyone knows and we're really excited about. And then one that's near and dear to our heart is Christmas in the City. So it's just a great opportunity for us to give back and to also give our distributors the opportunity, because when they purchase the product, they know that it's going towards something good. And then we've also done one other thing, which was one of my favorite things at the end of last year. We took over a new space as the business is growing, and it offered a retail front. Both Deb and Barry really have always wanted to be able to do a little retail store. So we took that idea and said, okay, great, we can do a retail store, but we wanted to do something good. And so the pop-up stores that we do go towards the charities that we partner with. So the first one we did was for Christmas in the City. We were able to donate over $10,000 to the organization as a result. We had, over the course of the 3.5 days that we ran the event, we had 90 people volunteer. Some of them, volunteered more than once. So it was a really great program to kind of connect everyone. So we connected with a really great charity, with our distributors who came and shopped, as well as the employees. So it was a really great program, and we're excited that I think it's something that will be part of our culture and part of Charles River for years to come.
Totally. I can imagine that must have been so much fun. We had the podcast right before the pop-up opened.
Yes.
So we were encouraging people to participate. So it was fun to sort of sense that there was guarded enthusiasm you guys had for like, what's it going to be? We're not exactly sure how many people are going to show up. But the idea of like creating a pop-up event is so current and so kind of what's going on in the world today. And to do it in a manner that's consistent with giving.
Correct.
That gave you the opportunity to say like, don't just come and shop. Come and shop and know that the cause is going to be benefited as a result of that. And that's such a, it's very current, it's very 2020, so it's a good job. So I wanted to touch on culture though. So because of the depth of giving that Charles River does, have you found it to have an impact on the employees within the organization specifically? Like
That's a great question.
How has it manifested itself in the four walls?
Well, I think as Tracy mentioned, I think that not that was intentional, but it's become a recruiting vehicle for sure, that people want to align with a culture. I think it's always evolving. So I think we have individuals or departments who say, you know what, there's this cause that we're interested in. Was it the Audubon? Was that last year?
Yes.
So, it kind of shows up in different ways. So it's not, what we really wanted to do, it wasn't about Barry and Deb caring about Christmas in the city.
Right.
So just even that alone, it's just kind of evolved. And it has impacts in ways sometimes we don't even know. So for example, Julie Knutson from Signet came to our Christmas in the City. She volunteered with us. And I saw her in the halls today, and she just said it was magical, and she's already bringing it back to Memphis. Well, not only does she want to come back to Boston,
but she wants to do her own.
But she's involved with different organizations in Memphis, Tennessee, and so she's already networking with these leaders to see how can we give a party for homeless children over the holidays. So I think sometimes we don't really know what the impact is, but our hope is that our employees, it just fits into their own value system. And I could give you a long list of things that we're doing, but I don't think that's what this is about. I think it's just part of we're part of the same family, and we really want to encourage our employees and really inspire anybody to connect with the cause that's meaningful to them. You know?
And to me, the most important part of what you said is, especially given the economy and the way it is today, it's difficult to get employees. And if you can project your values in a way that a prospective employee can see, it may be the difference between them making a choice to work for you or work for somebody else. Right? And because if all things are equal, if purpose is there in one of those decisions and not in the other, and I'm aligned with purpose, then maybe that helps make my final decision for me.
That's beautiful. And I think employees, basically everybody's our partners, right? So whether it's our customers or end users, so I think that, you want to be around like-minded people, and you want to build relationships with people who share the same values. So I think it just trickles down to, who our customers are, who our end users, and as a distributor, that's a different lens, right? And I think that we just automatically connect to our customers are the ones who are interesed.
That's why you're standing here.
We're very honored to be standing here with you.
So all things considered, people will frequently say, "Oh, that's all fine and dandy, and that's all soft and fuzzy." Talk a little bit about the results. What have you seen as a result of putting Clothing for a Cause together from a sales results perspective? Are you measuring that stuff?
I think it's early. I think that if we, it's a question about metrics, and I think that since we're also dealing with some new products, it's harder to monitor that.
Got it.
But I think that in conversation, when we're making presentations, there's definitely, like, whether it's clothing for a cause or just our involvement in the community, there is kind of a positive reaction.
Got it.
But I don't know if we really have measured it yet.
And honestly,
I
I
don't know
think
if that's why we're doing it.
well, exactly. That's actually what I was going to say. Is that, yeah? I mean, we could sit there and look at the sales and say, "Oh, great! You know, because of this program, we were able to sell another 500 performer jackets."
Yes.
But that's not what it's about. It's, oh my God, we sold 500 jackets. Now we can give more.
Right.
So it's never something that we track and look at from a metric perspective. It's more about what were we able to give
Impact.
to that charitable organization. So, and it does extend beyond, like you were saying, when we're talking about culture and the people. You know, I'm an employee, right? So it's contagious and it's empowering and it's camaraderie. So when we, like this pop-up, everybody wore. So the Camden is the piece that is supporting Christmas in the City. Everybody wore one with the Christmas in the City logo. So we were all running around the office going, "Oh, you're wearing your uniform." And then there's a sense of pride when you're wearing it. Like, I've got my uniform, I'm supporting Christmas in the City, and it kind of spills out from there. So it definitely does create a very positive environment because people feel like they're part of something bigger than just apparel.
And it's the age-old, right? When people have the opportunity to believe in something that's bigger than themselves, it has a way of being a unifying force. And purpose, oftentimes in the absence of other choices, is an excellent rallying point, because even if each individual has their own perspective on what purpose means to them, we all have that same empathy and humanity and want to be able to try to do that. And for the average person, my giving on my own is really only a reflection of my own ability, but I can amplify my giving if I align with more people who share the same value as I do, and our collective efforts are always much better than our own individual efforts. Okay, so we're going to look right at you, Mr. Buyer, and we're going to say to Deb and to Tracy, if this person watching the video right now is about to make a buying decision about what they may want to buy from a clothing perspective, what would you want them to know about if they were to make a Charles River decision out of all of the other choices they were going to make? What would be the sum total impact of that decision from your perspective? So if they were going to buy 500 jackets and they could buy it from all of the apparel suppliers in the industry, specifically for the impact that it's going to create, what would you want that person to know?
I think I'd want them to know that they're not just buying a piece of apparel. Right. You know, even though we have beautiful apparel, I think it's going much deeper, and I love the word amplifying. It's really a social consciousness decision, and not only would that one piece, especially if it's part of the clothing first cause, it's going to go directly to a charity, but I think it's helping people think about their own purpose, you know, and why they are here. And without getting too philosophical or spiritual, I think that we are here because we care about other people, and sometimes we don't really have a concrete vehicle to do that. Right. So I think this is a very intentional decision to say, you know what, this is really making me think a little bit, and what are some actions that I can take to make the world a better place. I once heard recently, I don't know if it was a podcast, that it's gratitude in action. So I feel like we're so grateful to be in this position, to make these decisions, to both give away in-kind donations. I mean, my favorite tagline is, I don't sell our apparel, I give it away. Okay, so I feel very privileged to be able to do that, that when a customer says, oh wow, this is a really cool company because they're doing really cool things, and I can make an intentional decision to buy this product knowing it's going to help a child.
Yes.
And I want to mention that we all care, and we sometimes don't necessarily know how, again, to put it into action. So all of the causes that right now we're highlighting engage volunteers. So that basically they're pretty much volunteer-run organizations, especially Christmas in the City and Big Brother, Big Sisters. I mean, everybody knows what that is.
Sure.
And Camp Kesem is a camp that is based all over the country at college campuses, where college students volunteer their time, and the campers have a parent impacted by cancer.
Got it.
And it's a free program. So again, a lot of them are intergenerational, and again, helps the customer think about, what do I really care about? And maybe this might inspire me to now give an hour a month to some other cause.
Love it.
That was a very long answer.
You're doing business with a company that loves to do good. And that's, and it's funny because we talk about clothing for a cause, but I was fortunate enough to ride as part of a team for the Pan Mass, which is something that Barry's very passionate about, and he wanted to build a team. And the company was gracious. It's a very big, you have to raise a lot of money, and they were very generous and said, if you raise a quarter of it, we'll kick in the 75% so that we could build this team.
Nice.
And we came back and we were, I swear for weeks we were talking about the ride, and then there were other people that were like, oh my God, I want to do it next year. So it's infectious, and we're excited about it. And I think that shows when we're talking to our customers, and yeah, it's about doing good and finding like-minded people, which is important,
Which is why we love to sell your product. We're very, very proud to represent your line. It's very gratifying to us to know that we have the opportunity to offer people who are making a buying decision to do something more than just spend money. And knowing that by presenting your product, that I'm enabling that opportunity, gives me a lot of pride to know that I have that chance to do that. So thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
Very much appreciate the time, and I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Same. Thank you. Thanks.